Hello, dear scholars. I'm very glad to attend the International Virtual Conference on Language and Literature. My name is Kaiwen Liu from Xi'an Post and Telecommunication University in China. My research topic is the multimodal analysis of marketization in academic elite discourse, a case study of university president web pages. The reason of choosing this research area is that I noticed the globalization and the marketization has greatly changed the way we perceive ourselves. Since I'm a university teacher, I found that universities, along with other entities, are undergoing a transformation from traditional academic entities towards a more market-oriented entrepreneurial university. The new identity is in contrast to the conventional view that university functions as a gatekeeper to screen and select students. The change is not limited to verbal text but displayed in all kinds of semiotic modes. So I want to know what kind of multimodal semiotic modes employed in university web pages and discover the conflict of the different identities. Fairclough in 1993, in a seminal paper, first hypothesized that the university discourses has been colonized by business discourse. He notes the traditional function of university is considerably undermined for the reason that universities are required to self-finance and compete for more funds from private sources. In these cases, students are not regarded as passive information receivers, but rather equal and collaborative interlocutors. Teal in 2007 compared the prospectus from two Singapore universities through both visual and verbal means and identified that university identities have shifted from authoritarianism to egalitarianism. In a similar vein, Han in 2014 examined the discourse genres in ceremonial speeches and found the president integrated more conversational discourses in order to satisfy students' emotional needs rather than maintaining the traditional authoritative and normative discourses. Considering the significant role of visuals in communicative events, especially in web-based interactions, many scholars took multimodal discourse analysis approach to investigate the affordance of different semiotic modes. John and O'Halloran in 2012 investigate how university identities and the colonization of market ideology are manifested in hypermodelling in university homepages. The marketization of academic discourse has been extensively explored in recent years. However, most studies focus on textual features without considering the interaction between verbal text and visual sources. The multimodal discourse analysis is employed in a small amount of studies investigating academic discourse, and even fewer studies investigated the impact of web-median interaction on the construction of university identity. Moreover, most of previous research took university in UK as an example to illustrate the marketization process, ignoring the fact that how universities identify themselves is contingent on cultural, social, geographical, even political factors. What is the most important is that the previous study addressed the impact of marketization on universities as a whole, overlooking the fact that people in the university have different powers and responsibilities. For those who have superior authority and power in the university, how they perceive the marketization of academic discourse and how they identify themselves would exert significant influence on the collective identity and more directly present the tension between authority discourse and the conversational discourse. So the current study aimed to examine how and to what extent the trend of marketization has influenced the authority holders' discourse in universities. The research examined both verbal and visual resources employed in the message from president web pages in 3 Asian university websites. The underlying logic of investigating message from the president webpage is that, as the highest administrator, the university president apparently possesses legitimate privilege and power. His or her ideology and discourse styles would exert huge influence on the collective identity and future direction. Therefore, to understand the marketization and president's potential power would facilitate our interpretation of the semiotic modes in the present web page. The proliferation of the web-mediated communication, which combines visual resources and navigational resources, comparatively have received less attention. The new type of communication enables us to convey meanings through interaction between a wide range of semiotic texts, such as image, color, clothes, posture, layout, and hyperlink. Thus, the pattern and use of linguistic text had changed, and the importance of visual resources has been gradually recognized. The authority and power are not presented not only through the means of verbal text, but through various semiotic modes. The research method adopted in this study is Michael Halliday's social semiotic theory, and grounds that it is applicable to not only linguistic modes but also other semiotic modes such as image, visual design, and other different variables. Different semiotic resources can be analyzed according to a common theoretical framework, and their functions can be labeled and characterized broadly into three mental functions. The first is ideational, which refers to talking about experience and describing events and state. The second is interpersonal, which refers to establishing and maintaining relations. And the last one is textual, which refers to organizing meanings into coherent and cohesive units. Since the current study is intended to examine the authority relation imposed by presidents with emphasis on the hierarchy of administrators and students, I would mainly focus on interpersonal functions of the multiple semiotic modes on the ground that it highlights the purpose of interaction and how the relationship is established and manifested. The multimodal analysis would provide a holistic view of the social construction of authority. The study would undertake a comprehensive semiotic analysis of multimodal resources on the three present web pages to examine the authority relation between president and university and students. I would first look at the verbal aspect, including discourse genre, textual and grammatical features, and text organization level. Moreover, detailed information such as titles, which will be discussed, then the focus will turn to visual resources, including the color of the web page, the image, the clothing, and the posture. The layout and overall design of the web page will also be discussed, including the proportion of image and text and the number of content of hyperlink. The three university websites which under analysis are National University of Singapore, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and the University of Tokyo. The reason of choosing the three universities are that first, they are all prestigious universities in the world with similar rank and are recognized as top universities in Asia. The second, despite a similar economic situation in three countries, the universities are embedded in different cultural and historical backgrounds, which also play a significant role in identity construction and selection of semiotic resources. The National University of Singapore is Singapore's oldest and largest university, which aims to be a global knowledge enterprise. It clearly shows that NUS has transformed into a market ideology in order to facilitate their economic development. Their aim to equip students with practical skills and empirical experience. And another university is the Chinese University of Hong Kong. The Hong Kong is a place with diverse cultures and traditions, so the CUHK aims to combine the Chinese tradition with modernity and to bring together China with West. In 5-year plan, CUHK aims to nurture students as global leaders. which indicate that the university is fully aware of the impact of globalization and emphasizes the practical outcome of higher education. University of Tokyo is regarded as the most prestigious and oldest national university in Japan. Since it is fully public-funded national institution, UT does not have the pressure to raise funds or market itself. Moreover, the university positions itself as a research-oriented university and emphasizes the importance to raise students' awareness of public responsibility and the pioneering spirit. In addition, the university have required to increase the leadership and the power of the university president. Since the discussion part is still under revision, the detailed analysis will be available in the full paper. The last part of the presentation will talk about the implication of this study. This study makes attempt to provide general theoretical and practical implication for higher education professionals and administrators. So first, it may give the increasing important role of web-based communication. The study will provide additional evidence into how the power and authority are constructed multimodally and how the market ideology permeates into the academic discourse. To my knowledge, there is no study conducted on the message from President webpage despite a growing number of research in higher education. The current study may raise people's awareness that the present identity and power may have changed to various degrees under the pressure of globalization and marketization. It will bring significant impact on all the stakeholders in the education system. For example, what is the expected outcome of university education may vary from different universities. Second, the current study may have practical implications for administrators in education. By identifying the means of presenting authority or mitigating authority, the administrators may have more conscious of the ways to present themselves, especially in web-mediated communication. They should be more prudent in not only word choices, but also the image, which can greatly facilitate interpretation of textual meaning, and sometimes they can express the meanings which cannot be put into words. And last one, as those who design a university homepage, the study would have a practical guidance on how to select and organize information in accordance with the present identity. Thanks for listening to my presentation. I'm looking forward to your question. Thank you very much.